Welcome back. After a very, very one-sided affair just now on Nuke, we did see LDLC manage to triumph over Mouse to take it 1-0 in this series. There's still another map coming up, though, potentially a one after that. That's going to be Mirage.
French final.
All French final. That's
the French final.
That's the rumour that Tom Biz is circulating. If you're wondering why, we can go ahead and bring up the bracket quickly so you can see the outcome of the North versus Envious match. We can see that Envy, they're the team that managed to overthrow the Fresh Princes of Denmark to take...
You love Fresh Prince, don't you?
Yeah, well, you know... who
Alex as well.
But, yeah, North, they only managed to pick up one map there. Here, LDLC are up 1-0 in this series. You say all French, but, I mean, LDLC, French org, that's about as French as it... I mean, you know, there are French players within the team, I guess.
I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm just saying, it's not like everyone's French.
Oh, no, of course, but mostly French. Well, it doesn't sound as good if I say mostly French final, because it's already a sort of mostly, well, for French final. And then you got Scream, of course.
Yeah.
And then in this one, then things get confusing because their team's sort of mixed. But they always call themselves French, so I'm going to stick with what they're calling themselves.
We'll do that.
And not confuse everyone by going, oh, yes, it's a Swiss-Belgium-French team.
I mean, I just want you to...
Is it called Benelux? I might have just made that up. I'm pretty sure it's called Benelux, but then again, I'm not very good at geography, so who cares anyway?
That's true. But yeah, heading into Mirage, how's your geography in terms of CS maps?
Not very good.
Okay. Well, heading into Mirage anyway, it's going to be the pick of Mouse Sports. It's a map that they're very well versed on.
Yeah.
And we're finally going to see Oscar with the AWP, because if you were brand new to CS and you'd never watched it before and didn't know anything about the habits of either of these players, you would look at Nuke and be like, no, Chris J is the AWPer then.
Yeah.
But of course, Oscar, he's kind of the star player for Mouse on that AWP, apart from on Nuke, where he takes a bit of a backseat, plays the rifling role, and allows Chris J, the ex-AWPer of Mouse, to go ahead and pick that up. Heading into Mirage, though, we get to see Oscar on the AWP, and that's kind of one thing that makes or breaks Mouse Sports, or at least that used to be the way of things. Now, we have Sunny in there who can kind of provide some backup firepower in that regard, along with Rops. But the one thing that was scary for me is even if Oscar does step up, Sunny did look very rusty in that game. I don't think there's any denying that, right? Previously on Nuke.
I do feel like Mirage will be a different story.
Okay.
Because
You're very adamant on this.
Yeah, no, I just feel like for him at least, he's a player who, like this... What?
Sorry, I had an itch. It's very rude.
Oh, okay. Just cut me off for that. Yeah. Thank you very much. But no, it's sort of like with the aggression on Mirage, I feel like it's a lot easier to pull off. Like, at least with Nuke, there's a lot of players who attempt to go aggressive on that outside. I think Valde is someone who likes to do it, and it is very hit and miss. And I think with the way that their game was going anyway, the second that we saw LDLC start to read the pushes and start to work out what he was doing, they could then realize where they could capitalize, and that was the sort of bigger problem. Whereas on Mirage, they've got so many talented individuals. You could name pretty much the whole roster as players who are good at this map, even in previous teams as well. Like you talk about Penta, and you would say, yeah, Sunny's was very good, or Penta were very good at Mirage, and then you've just taken one of the great bits of that Mirage and now stick it into this sort of Mouse Sports team. So I think that this should be... I don't want to say easy, but it's a map that LDLC don't particularly like to play. Up until a little while ago, they were banning it.
Because, we just saw just now that Nuke was a very, very one-sided matchup. It finished 16-5, I think it was, in favor of LDLC. Do you think it's going to go Nuke just a stomp for the team that picked it, Mirage a stomp for the team that picked it, and then, closing it out, map number 3, a much kind of closer affair?
Yeah. That's exactly what I think it's going to go. I think unless LDLC really can just show up to the mark and be absolutely impeccable all the way through, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. Because the other thing is with Mirage is it has still become, like, I don't want to say there's no tactics to this map, but it has become almost like the Element Dust 2, where everybody knows how to play it, everybody knows the set smokes. A lot of the time, if it comes to new innovations on the map, there isn't going to be anything too much. I think the last thing I remember was just sort of the long smokes that were being thrown by Karrigan from different points of the map to show fakes. But even then, when it comes to actual executes on the site, they've been the same for a while.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. It has risen up and taken the place of Dust 2. I think a lot of people would agree with that. The kind of argument is it's either that or Cash, but I would argue that out of the two, Mirage is still the more, puggy style of map. So yeah, I mean, I do think that's naturally going to benefit mousesports quite a fair bit. They have a lot of players in there who are very talented individually.
Rops was found literally from FPL, which might as well, the P may as well stand for Pug. So
yeah,
the way that he played, and I think that this will definitely suit them much better. But then, like you said, the third map is then going to be Cash, which again is somewhat up there as well. So I actually still think the mousesports will take the series. I like all the sort of all French final. It's going to have to be LDLC proving me wrong, and in a way I sort of hope they do, because we would then get the Mykonos qualifier rematch and see if LDLC can get through to, like, if they then lost to Envy again, that would be a real kicker.
Yeah, you know, on top of that, I seem to remember there was an interview I think with the Existence saying how LDLC were kind of sick of being this like team trapped between the tiers that could never quite, you know, qualify for the big events, but then were very, really good at the smaller events, you know. So it was like they'd really been putting time in and effort into trying to actually rise up and get to like the potential that they said that they could all get to. And that was also kind of one of the reasons behind the move, you know, taking Misto off and then bringing Devil in. It was all to try and, you know, work towards that goal. And yeah, I think they've done quite a good job of that thus far.
Yeah.
They've gone from being a team that everyone just kind of wrote off in almost every single way with like a few good players in, but it seemed like for a while, right, just like where players would go to die. You know, just like, yeah, put them in LDLC.
Yeah.
Well, they're not doing that great, but you know.
Oh look, they got a chance in Envious. Oh, it didn't go very well. Back to LDLC.
Yeah, that's just sort of how it became. But now you know that they're kind of actually churning out some decent results. You know, it's led, whole thing kind of brought together his band of misfits by Existence. You know, he's a very talented IGL. He was, you know, kind of at one point was the best IGL in France. You know, bringing up a lot of these the best French teams, right? So you know, has fallen out of favor since then. But I still think he's got the talent. He's got the ability to lead a team into like, you know, being potentially one of these top teams. It's just, you know, the journey, the process of getting there is a very, very long and arduous one.
Well, it's whether or not people can be part of that sort of regime as well. Because that's always the thing with, like, you talk about people like Shox as well, where he likes the more sort of freestyle rather than actually like doing exactly what the in-game leader says, and that's the sort of thing you need with Existence. There's plenty of analysts out there who will tell you now that, well, I think Thorin's one of them. If you give some top players over to Existence, he reckons he could create a top team in the world, and I'm not one to disagree. I think you see it all the way through a lot of his teams where they manage to sort of either, like you say, upset bigger teams, but they do it on a regular basis, and it's not like they've not been sort of beating like teams like Space Soldiers and very talented rosters along the way anyway to get to other sort of finals. It's also been like the teams we see today. Like they've beaten Na'Vi, a team, okay, granted, there's a lot of things going around with that team right now. I think Simple then tweeted something like, I'm done, which definitely isn't going to help the situation anything more.
He literally just tweets the word, I'm done.
So that's not going to help them out at all, but
I think it was his birthday today.
Happy birthday.
I think, yeah. Because I saw someone, you know, posting about how like last year he won ESL New York on his birthday, and now he lost the IEM Oakland qualifier. But anyway, no time for
ups and downs.
Yeah, no time for the swings and roundabouts of life. Instead, it's going to be the roller coaster that is this push as they come in towards the B-bomb site. mousesports go tearing on in, trying to catch LDLC unaware, but actually, one man still alive within the site. Going to be Maniac. Does hit the deck. Tuano's quick though in getting some in return. Bomb plant will come in. Alex has been tagged within inches of death. Trying to take control of the site. Does take one more with him before he goes down. Now Tuano left in a 1v2. Pinched it on in. Has to be accurate here. Gonna smoke off the bomb. Takes the duel. Isolating these in the one-on-ones, but they don't want to keep giving them to him. And through the smoke, Sunny finishes things off. mousesports do manage to get themselves the pistol and are off to the start that they wanted.
Yeah, already a much better start for Sunny as well. 3 kills in the pistol. We've already said that in the past he's been somewhat of a momentum-based player, and we saw it in the last map, never really got going. So it's definitely a good sign that he has already started off strong. Straight in CZ's Existence. There you go. There's another player still with the 5-7 equipped. And Sunny may have a few players pushing his way. Still has the AK. Has some support as well in the form of Chris J. Is going to go wrapping around the corner. Takes a lot of damage. Chris J already down to just 1 HP, so has to be a little bit careful in this scenario. Still 3 players over towards that A side of the map with a little bit of a lurk coming out from Oscar just to make sure that they can't push into that mid segment. And a lot of the time the CT side aren't really going to want to because they've only got pistols to fight with anyway.
How's they going to be making their way over here towards B. 3 players up in apartments. Leaving Oscar to try and hold mid with the scout. Over in T-spawn, you've got Rops waiting to see if any aggression comes out from LDLC. They will get this site for free. Thrusting LDLC into a 4v5 retake. Oscar starts to make his way out through mid. They're going to hear the scope go in. Spots the man in connector. B site going to go the way of Mouse. They get the bomb down for free, and in this scenario, LDLC should just go for the save, take these pistols, take the armor into the next round, have another go. And trying to take the round off of Mouse.
Bomb has been planted.
CT side are actually just going to opt to save their pistols, so just going to keep those into the next round. Get another chance to actually do some extra damage, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for them. And the T's are going to keep every single player alive as well, so that's a pretty decent scenario for Mousesports going into the first couple. Of course, they don't have any SMGs other than the one on Chris J, who's currently on 1 HP anyway, although I'm pretty sure he started the round with a Galil. And yeah, means that they're not going to make a huge amount of money themselves, but with not losing a single player, still a pretty decent scenario overall.
For Mouse, 4 players over here towards A very, very quickly. Looking like they might try to play a little bit faster into this round. Tuano's up close on ramp, but Sunny, he has a suspicion that something might be going on. And he will go ahead and find that first out onto Tuano. The rest of the team now in, so ready to continue. Whoa, pushing out in towards the A-bomb site. Chris J pivots back around. Alex could have fallen. Losing distance now in CT. Maniac up to find 1, but that will be it for him as the smokes rain in to nullify his position. They're going to lose Devil in connector. And while Maniac left 1v4, we'll just have to save once again. Might get taken out by Oscar. Oh, there you go. Finished off. Mousesports going to go 3-0 up, but now the buy can come in from LDLC.
Oh, are they doing this again? Yeah, this is the weird SMG buy there. We see them do quite often. I think we saw Maxi Saucisse, or Ares, as they're now called, do this quite often, where they sort of balance out the money and try and basically get a little bit of extra cash, but still try and do as much damage as possible with the UMPs. It's a bit of a weird one. A lot of the time you see them go for a very aggressive sort of buy, or aggressive sort of push, sorry. And, well, of course, Mousesports going into this are going to be expecting a full buy. So maybe if they beat this one, it'll be more of an element of surprise. Either way, it's going to be coming through. 2 players spotted in connector. Sunny sprays down the first. Has to be careful from behind, though, as Maniac will be able to pick up 1. And now there is the opportunity to try and trade out that weapon. T-side, of course, a little bit of a bonus round themselves, still having a lot of the rifles that they bought into that second round. However, they've already managed to take complete control of the B site. Rops and Chris J just going to look to try and get that bomb down. And the remaining CT players, well, maybe the AK will be saved. They're going to try and win this round.
Oscar with this scout in mid, just going to be tearing them apart. Actually manages to take 2 somehow. It's been very expensive to try and take. No. Alex does a pretty good job of it. He's able to find that, no problem. 1 AK, and Alex going to be running in for 1 more, but Sticko does reside on the corner. Alex, that's not quite the gun he wanted. Tries to deal with Sticko, but can't manage to do it, leaving this all on Tuano to try and save, and this round has not worked out for LDLC. They had 3 rifles saved up at one point. And now it's just 1 on Tuano that they're going to take into the next round. Mousesports are going to go 4-0 up. But because of that SMG buy in the previous round, LDLC can now afford to buy down once again. And I can never tell if I like that, because it allows them to go for the buy here if they lose the round and try and do damage, which I think, you know, is the whole point of it. And then if they win, they've made loads of money, right? But it's like an unnecessary risk you don't really need to take.
Yeah, I think it's for the extra utility. That's the only real reason you do it. so that you can make sure everybody has the nades, and it can get you off to a better start if you can string them together. The problem is you give so much money over to the T side, but if they manage to just win the round cleanly. Chris J, okay, that's a little bit of an elaborate attempt. Just jumps straight out and already going to be going down. Twanu is there to support. And you can see the utility playing a part already. They're just able to hold off these players. However, Sunny will be able to trade one back with a Molotov. Sticko on another, and the T's are now just shutting down this round. Alex doing his best to try and defend onto that bomb with Existence to help him, but it's Sunny. 1 versus 2. Trying to hold on in this situation. Knows roughly where one of the players are, and that will be Alex. He doesn't know where the second is. Alex just going to be creeping his way out. Could walk straight into the crosshair, but actually Sunny seems to have missed him. Never mind. Hits the headshot, and Existence is going to have to come rotating back in. Has the M4. Sunny looking for the kill, but it will be Existence to win them their first round. All that extra utility, it seemed like it pays off. They're not going to have all of that here, though.
Yeah, when you look at the buy from Mavs, they're going to be able to get everything they need. The AWP board up for Oscar. Sticko throws that across, and he's able to buy himself up. Now they are on the danger zone here on either side. Mavsports, they should be able to get a buy in the next, regardless of their fate in this one. But LDLC will be reset if they lose. So Devil going to take matters into his own hands. Pushes up through mid. Has support from Existence. 2 men here to try and shut this down. Fully flash damage done. They are going to be allowed to retreat. Now Chris J pounces out, finds 2, going to be looking for magic number 3, and Existence walks to his demise. Chris J opens this round up for Mouse in a big way. Sticko and Chris might be tagged low, but Oscar's still full HP, and that's a terrifying beast to try and wrangle with. As Alex now rotates in the middle, catches Sticko rotating. And the aggression from Devil could net him both of these frags. Oscar going to walk right into him. Chris J left 1 versus 2, and Devil knows he's tagged low. Pop flash out from Chris J, going to give away his position. He's also fully flashed. Walks into the crosshair of Devil, but still picks up the frag with the bomb on his back. Going to be rotating off. Alex hears all. Chris J with 4 frags. Has to ace it to try and win this out and reset the economy of LDLC. The gravity, the importance of the outcomes of this round are monumental. And it all falls onto one man. Chris J now through Palace. Alex no! But he looks away. Chris J gonna ace it out for the win. And that's Mavsports to take themselves a 5th. Alex gets caught completely unaware. Starts to rotate back to middle. Has a hunch that it might be going down somewhere else. And as a result, pays for that with his life.
That's what you call CSGO timing. That is just what you call. You can watch any angle for a ludicrous amount of time, but the fact is sometimes you're just going to get CSGO'd, and that's unlucky. 1 to 5, however. Mavsports firmly in the lead. It's going to be pistol force up for LDLC. They don't have enough money in this round to realistically save and get something better in the next, so they're just going to go all in here. Aggression coming out from Maniac. Has himself the CZ and gets them a bit of information that it isn't going to be over towards B, at least for the early portions of the round, but you can see just the passive nature of Mavsports. Instant headshot from Alex, but unfortunately Rops does the same with an AK.
And it looks like Mavs are curious as to what the B-bomb site has in store for the Maniac here with the CZ. Waiting out on the platform. That Molotov has to force him back. Mavs now starting their rotation off. They hear the extra man in that B-bomb site. It's the aggression from Devil here with the Deeg. That could make a big difference. They're going to sneak past him in its entirety. They haven't cleared out Palace, and they're just going to presume it's clear. Devil could wreak havoc. Sunny about to walk in with his knife out. Does check the corner. Devil finds that first. And now the aggression comes out. Twano answers with a Deeg of his own. They turn the man advantage around. Rops, luckily enough, is going to come in with the equalizer. Chris J up through connector like a speed demon. Able to find that frag out into Existence, but still, Devil's up in Palace. Maniac waiting in CT spawn. Gonna try to peek out. Rops going to get eliminated there. Maniac keeps going. Has to pivot back round, but Devil ends it up in the 1v1. Just has to stay alive here. As Chris J comes on in, there's just 1 second left, and Chris J, once again from the brink of defeat, clutches it. and manages to generate another round for mousesports, 6-1. And is there anything that Chris J can't do?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Because that's just starting to get a little bit silly now. The LDLC have come close in the last couple of rounds, but there's that man who's managed to win it both times. Now, well, LDLC have no choice. They've got to just go for a save round. They don't have the money to even sort of force back into it, even if they wanted to, and though it wouldn't really be worth the risk. 6-1 up for mousesports over on that T side. Middle control being attempted by the CTs, and they're going to pop flash themselves right up the top of mid. Rops is already going to be rotating back around, and the B site has completely fallen to the hands of the Ts. Should be a relatively easy round. Oscar has been spotted, and Devil is trying to bait out as many shots as he can. I wouldn't play a game of chicken with Oscar if I were you. However, well, there's not really much chance anyway for the remaining CT players. And the best case here is that they manage to steal a weapon.
mousesports about to get their 7th round. LDLC, as you say, they're just waiting on the outskirts, hoping that someone from Mouse comes their way, but that's not going to be the case. Only one man dying, Devil. The one to fall. mousesports save 5 players. LDLC allowed to keep 4 alive. And that's a 7th now for Mouse. They're going to take a 6th round lead over LDLC. The buy can come in at this round for LDLC, but when you look at it, it's not that great, Tom. It's not going to be everything they need. You know, they're going to be very limited in terms of utility for a team that's had... No.
I think that was the coach.
That's the motivation for them.
Win this round, or it will keep happening.
I mean, there you go. That's how the... if that was the coach, that's how the LDLC coach is feeling. He's like, they're taking a pause to give him time to...
He's just repeatedly hitting his head on the desk and they're like, look, can you stop? But, yeah, no, LDLC, they've come close in the last few rounds. Of course, T-side economy not anywhere near as crazy as it could be, considering how, well, dominant that they've been. They will still be able to rebuy in the next round no matter what. Chris J leading the charge alongside Sonny, who has had somewhat of a resurgence. Yet to really see Oscar, but I think that's more of a CT side sort of place. That's where we're going to see him shine. And, well, that's if there is a CT side, if it keeps going the way they are. We're not going to see that same SMG buyout from LDLC. I think it's past the point where they can opt to sort of take risky strategies to get their economy stable. It's more, they need to start winning rounds. It's getting too far gone, and mousesports, if they continue in this sort of fashion, we've already said they're a team that can just run away with games. We've seen it earlier today versus Big on the 2 maps that they played. So now has to be the turnaround.
Looks to be that LDLC, they've stacked 4 players over here on B, leaving Maniac to solo the B-bomb site. Meant to say A, but here we go. Pop flash out towards middle. Devil's allowed to peek as a result. Wolfsby smoking off connector. Sonny and the rest of the gang are taking control of mid, because it's been handed over entirely for free by LDLC. Gap in the top of the smoke, it starts to fade. Devil gets caught out in the open. He's the first to fall. Oh! Existence gonna walk past that, and Oscar lands that shot through a couple of pixels of space. Now Maniac holds this off over towards short, and he has to step up massively. All the pressure's on his shoulders. He does take the first, but he's gonna need more than that to keep Mouse at bay. Maniac steps up massively, in with 3, but Sonny does manage to trade. And now Twano has to make sure the efforts of Maniac aren't in vain as he starts to sneak out through connector. Sonny spots the shadow, lands the spray, and Twano will be kept at bay. mousesports on to 8. As LDLC, once again, no money left. Just going to be relegated down to the Force.
Yeah, you did ask me earlier, do I really have that much faith in Sonny bouncing back? Yes. Yes, I do. 12-4 at the moment, and he has been very impactful indeed, playing a massive game so far on this T side. Of course, Chris J has been up there with him, but 8-1. CT side, they're going to invest a bit into pistols. Of course, the loss bonus has started to build up behind them, so they can afford to do so. Likelihood is we'll see the for TwaNU in the next round, and maybe Existence as well. Could be an interesting change to see a double AWP setup coming in. However, once again, just slower rounds. Rops just playing passive, expecting someone to eventually push through Palace, but he can also watch ramp from this spot. The rest of the team are actually closer around the spawn, looking like they're about to opt to go, well, it looked like they're about to execute towards A. Instead, they look to rotate into middle instead, take these longer range battles, and just use their utility to clear out a lot of the angles.
League out from short. Existence doesn't find anything. And Mao's in response to this, she's going to go charging up through connector. TwaNU holds it close with the CZ, has to try and shut this push down, but he's going to fall at the first hurdle. Sunny takes his head clean off. It's Alex who's all the way down ramp, combined with Maniac. That could make such a big difference between them. Decapitation in towards A. Maniac goes in with a second. And now Oscar 1v3 does manage to find the first. But he's still got 2 more left to find. Alex and Existence have the bomb in the middle of the site. Oscar has so many angles here to check. Check sandwich, jumps across for Tetris. Alex comes walking out. Oscar's fast, but Existence does get the trade. And LDLC going to be afforded a second round there. There's so much money for Mouse to buy up.
French teams and pistols just seem to go together.
I was scared though. Oscar and no scopes there. I was scared he gets that first. I just thought that's it. He's in the zone. He's turning around and he's going to get Existence as well, but no.
Existence doesn't give him a chance. Swift 1D. That will be a nice boost to the economy as well for LDLC. But this has to be where they start to rectify how these last few rounds have gone. Already a lot of upper B positioning, and there isn't really anybody here. Oscar just going to be pushing his way forward. Spots out Maniac, and there's the entry kill already. First man down, looking for his second, sees the shot, and after the last round, Oscar's clearly feeling a little bit more confident. Only needed to get himself 3 in the last. He's already got himself the next 2 in this. The bomb's going to go down. I feel like the remaining CT players just have to save their weapons once again. A quick change up. Mousesports just go barreling into B, and Oscar doesn't give them a second to think.
Yeah, and saving here is so important for LDLC. Mousesports, they know that. It wouldn't surprise me if we see them go hunting. You can already see Rops up in Palace, and Stecco slowly but surely making his way out through connector. There's very little money here for LDLC. TwaNU, Alex, they're both going to fall. Devil left 1v4, and it's so important that they'd saved the 3 rifles. It's only Devil left, so he is fighting a losing battle. Mousesports players closing in from all sides. Sunny catches him on the cross, and all the money they were saving for a rainy day will be cancelled out there as Sunny finishes them off at the end.
Yeah, it's sort of like saving for a rainy day and then your house gets hit by a tornado. It's not going to be working out for them at all. They sort of keep just trying to hold on to their weapons when things don't go right, and well, instead they're actually going to end up forcing it anyway. TwaNU's got a rifle, a few pistols. They did manage to do it in the previous round, however, whether that's a reflection of what they can do in this one, not so much. It's not normally something that a team makes the mistake twice. We did see it earlier in the Fnatic versus Envy game where both teams ended up winning rounds off of the back of these pistols, or losing rounds, depending which side of the coin you're on. However, once again, we're going back to much more passive strategies. You've got Sunny just playing the sort of feeder role where he's running around with that MAC-10, trying to make a little bit of extra money. Probably expecting them to be eco here, but they have forced in. It may not matter because, again, same position every single round from Rops. Maybe a little bit to the left or the right, but he's just holding. He's waiting. And the second they start picking up kills, you know that the CTs are going to continue to push. It's like, okay, well, we're 1 man down. Let's try and get it back to even. And then they lose another player. And, oh, we're 2 men down. Let's try and get it back to even again. Now we're 3 men, and it's just going all the way back. Devil is the only one left alive over towards that A ramp. And I think this is just going to be that same sort of stomp that we saw on Nuke, unless something drastic changes very, very quickly for LDLC.
Well, Mousesports now in double-digit territory. Going to go 10-2. No money here for LDLC, so just going to have to eco. And I think you know you're pretty right on, Tom, when you said 2 stomps and then maybe 1 close map at the end, but
maybe.
I'm even starting to doubt that prediction now. LDLC just falling short in these aim duels time and time again. And on a more Pug-style map, they are struggling. Maybe on the T side, we could see some sort of redemption from them. They're going to need more rounds than this.
They need to have a T side. Like that's the scary thing when you're losing by this sort of measure. Sunny, now he gets his farm round. He was looking for it in the last. He still managed to do it, and instead he's just tapping heads from afar with this MAC-10. His teammates are going to sort of ruin his chance to make a hell of a lot of money, but, well, one of the swiftest anti-eco rounds we've seen in a while. 27 seconds that took. mousesports 11-2. And, yeah, I don't think there was any sort of mental problem for them going into this one. As you said, we saw them, like, with the Force Spies in the late rounds in Nuke, almost like, okay, let's get to Mirage. Second they've got here, well, there's been no turning back.
The buy has come in there for LDLC. They're going to be given another chance here before the end of the first half to try and get some more rounds on the board, throw a spanner in the works. Smoke goes down for Devil and Connector. Has support from Twano. Go for the three-man setup in mid. Sunny's already down there, though. Able to find the first, pinned against the wall. Twano will come in for the trade. So we hit the 4-on-4. Sticko, peeking out in the middle, should be able to put the tirade of Existence and Maniac to bed as they come in for the rotations. Ooh. Didn't quite spot him there on short. The Smoke going to start the fade just before Sticko gets the angle, and now Robs catches them off guard. Existence able to trade. Sticko falls as well, and now Oscar left in a 1 versus 2. Gonna go ahead and get that bomb down. Players rotating in through CT, and also Existence heading up through Connector. Oscar has to land this first shot. They hear the scope go in, holding it close is Twano, but Twano relegated to the grave, and now Oscar 1v1 holds the cross, gonna leg Existence. Existence is now within the sight, but Oscar just gonna be hiding. The Molotov burnt him out of the open. Time working against him here, and he will go down in the fire and flames. Existence allowed to get the defuse. Should be just enough time left for that, and LDLC will get themselves a third round. Ooh. And it came so close, right down to the wire there.
I think Existence is just the anti-Oscar machine. Every time it's the clutch, Oscar will kill everyone else, and then it'll just be Existence left at the end going, you may be able to mind game my teammates, but you're definitely not mind gaming me. Nice use of the Molotov, completely ruins any sort of plan from Oscar to just hide in that corner. Now we go 11-3. At least they'll have themselves a bye going into the final round of the half. Chris J is going to pick up a trusty SG. We see a few players do it over on Mirage, of course. We know that Magisk has been one to pick it up every once in a while. Let's see what Mr. J can do. He's been great so far. Maniac in the corner, perfectly positioned, gets the first. Now they are going to be Molotoving off the close, but he's going to be able to get out of there without any real trouble. The Molotov should hold them back a little bit further.
Chris actually going to get tagged quite low there in the Molotovs. Down to 44 HP he goes, and mousesports then reeling back from B. You've still got Alex waiting in the A bomb side. Players rotating in as well, and the former Twano is going to be holding Connector. Sunny trying to take control of the middle, starts to peek on out, has 3 players up here towards A. Chris J in the meantime going to be holding off over at B, does spot Maniac. Oscar's up short though. No one's ready for this from LDLC, falling back, they have to be careful. Man in the corner could catch Oscar off guard, but Existence tries to play it smart there, I think, tries to let him cross, and Oscar lands the quick flick, gonna go ahead and take him down as Sunny pivots back round, catches Alex looking the wrong way, and somehow LDLC looks so poised to take this round. And now it might elude the Maniac, though. He's had enough with this. He's able to take 2. Rops does come in with the trade, and Devil left 1 versus 2. Players sneaking in from behind is going to be Sunny. Rops is heard, but lands the flick, and Devil will go down as a result. And mousesports going to be up 12-3 at the end of that first half.
Yeah, absolutely dominating half coming out from mousesports. We didn't really see much of LDLC at all. There were a few sort of clutch rounds towards the beginning, which could have played a big part. Obviously, what Chris J managed to do 2 rounds running definitely kicked them off to a great start in the end. But we've definitely seen the resurgence of Sunny. Like, he's playing sort of out of his mind at the moment, just walking around Mac 10. It doesn't matter what gun he seems to have, he's still winning all of the duels. Rops has just been pretty much just lurking over towards that A side of the map and catching players off left, right, and center. And then when it comes down to sort of the latter rounds, even though he didn't win the clutches, Oscar was just making everything so expensive for the remaining CT players. So LDLC definitely looking out of their depth on this map. But they will go on to the T side. I don't think there's any doubt they need the pistol. I don't think I really even need to say it, but it's worth mentioning. And maybe then if they can get onto that T side, that's where we saw them do well on Nuke. Obviously an easier T side on Mirage, but at the same time, you expect to have a better CT side from Mousesports as well.
Yeah, Dan, definitely. You know, the pistol round as well is so much more essential here than it would be at any other time because, of course, you know, your economy will be ruined. If you lose it, you'll have 2 rounds that you essentially then have to eco.
Well, they definitely can't do their little save round, can they?
No, they cannot.
The game would end.
So, going to be seeing the side of LDLC buy up smoke and flash on Existence. He's throwing a PT-50 over to Devil as well. Got to give them that much more to work with. Having just one smoke and a flash, to me, suggests the B play. Can go ahead and throw that down for Connector, get your players up through short. You can go for the split here, or you can just go straight in towards B. But alternatively, they could try using it. Same sort of idea, but splitting into the A bomb site by smoking off short. It looks like what might be the plan here. As you can see, they're now routing Maniac in through lower tunnels. They have Devil waiting up in Palace.
To try and split their way into that connector. Here we go. Oscar just going to be sat into dark. I think he may have seen something. They're just going to try and fall back into the corner. Hits the first shot, looking for Alex as well. Gets the second. Third one, not quite up and coming, but already he's given a huge advantage. Chris J will remove 2 more heads, and it leaves just Existence. It doesn't matter in this situation. Sunny will chime in right at the end, and while it was sort of a pistol or bust situation, now it's going to be a very, very tough comeback if LDLC are going to make this work, and I can't say I believe.
I believe in LDLC. Let's go, boys, as they force buy down what they can.
Top 10 team, he says.
It is going to be Tuano with the infamous Glock and armor. There you go, does finally go ahead and grab himself a PT-50. Distance going to Molotov off connected, denies the early aggression, and does actually force Sunny out into middle, which would have been nice to see maybe the guys up at Apps try and capitalize on, but Sunny Caramelize on, yeah. That nade, gonna get eaten. As now Sticko stands alone. Has support from Chris J actually rotated on in, and Sticko just gonna be chipping away with the UMP. It's a slaughterhouse inside of B, and Mouse completely annihilate LDLC there, 14-3. As they keep 5 alive, the economy gonna be starting to boom here for Mousesports.
Yep. Now, well, LDLC basically have the choice of force buy or wait and get 1 buy round. And by the looks of things, we may not get to witness the T side from LDLC at all. It is, well, pretty much down to this. If they manage to win this round, then okay, we'll get to see their T side. We'll get to see some rifles. If not, well, they're just going to have to force up with pistols once again. Minimum they need is a bomb plant, but I think that is even still just pushing it, as Mousesports are currently 11 rounds in the lead. Haven't had too many problems on this match since the very early rounds, and now they're just going to go for the classic smoke setup onto the site, just leaving a wall for the CTs to have to try and push through. They do manage to get pretty close, which is where these pistols are definitely going to be more beneficial. Looking to try and actually sneak through, taking damage from their own. Rops in such a good position, catches out Alex, also gave information over to his teammate, and now the rest are just going to try and take this 1 by 1.
Existence tagged away. As they start to extend back to range, these pistols going to fall more and more out of favor. Look at this big flank as well coming in from Devil, as he tries to wrap in through mid to deny the defuse, but the bomb is not planted for him, so you're relying on 6 HP Existence to stay alive. Sticko could just stick the defuse. Devil's able to take 1, make it 2, but that will be it for him. They stick the defuse. Sticko going to be on that, and Devil, unless this man could fly into the site, that would be it. Mousesports going to be able to pick this round up. 15-3. The bomb plant means LDLC can force a little bit stronger into this one. We could maybe see a We can see the AK up on Existence. Devil might drop an AK over as well. He's going to be buying up the utility along with the CZ Existence.
Here we go, though. Can the T's start what would have to be one of the most impressive comebacks we've seen in quite a while? They are going to be setting up towards this A site once again. They did manage to get the bomb down in the last round. Of course, the CT side aren't really mucking about anymore. They've got themselves rifles on every single player. The AWP is onto Oscar over towards the back of the site. Rops will be waiting. They've put down this wall of smoke once again. They've got slightly better weaponry than the last time. And Alex is going to attempt to get through this smoke once again. But this time, he's aware of how Rops will be playing. It will still be the trade back. Oscar up close. Doesn't manage to get the second, and actually the T side are making it work in this situation. Sticko turns around, gets one, but can't quite get the second. However, the man who is left has been impeccable so far. Maniac has managed to retrieve an AWP. Can Sunny finish this off the way he's been going so far? No, he cannot. 15-4. mousesports still firmly in the lead. I don't think there was any doubt of that. But the one round on that T side will at least land on the scoreboard for LDLC.
And this is it. This is where the comeback can start to begin for LDLC. It's realistically, it's still a very, very long road that they're going to have to try and blaze a trail on. But Mouse buying down what they can. The AWP going to be up for Oscar. Sticko and Sunny on with rifles. Rops and Chris J relegated down to the pistols here. Maniac trying to push up in towards B-Apps. It's going to be out to run into Chris J and Sticko as they take some aggression. Flash themselves on in. Maniac finds the first. Can he get dinked in through the plywood? Has to be careful as he gets spammed down to 28 HP. LDLC, they've taken the first. Now they're going to go ahead and play a bit more passively. Fall back into T-spawn, lining up some smokes and flashes. I think that's Alex to go ahead and throw one out for short to allow his teammates to cross in the middle. Look at this though, Sunny and Robs taking the fight to LDLC as they make their way down onto ramp. Sunny holds off for the first. Devil gonna go down and now... Oh, Robs, that was stylish, finds the first. That's the bomb dropped over on ramp. The rotation's already peeling off from that B-bomb site. Sticko actually going to hold his ground over on cinder blocks here. Watches the rotate up through connector, lands the dink to Existence, and LDLC, not like this, going to try and reclaim that bomb, but it's already gone the way of Mouse. Into the slaughterhouse they go, as Existence is left 1v2 and only 11 HP to his name. Sticko, it's the knife in the back that cuts the deepest, walks into the crosshair, he will land the headshot. And mousesports win this out 16-14. 16-4.
Yep, I was just going to wait and see if you got that one, because I was thinking, we must have been watching a very different game.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I just wanted to make out like it was closer and better than it was.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It's somewhat expected, to be fair. I think in the sort of tactical mind of Existence, getting absolutely destroyed left, right, and center by the T side didn't really come in, and then going on to their own T side, they just never really got going. They lost the pistol. They were so far behind that they just had to keep forcing. Okay, they managed to get one round off. A nice smoke setup onto the A site, but that was the only smoke setup we really got to see. And other than that, it was just all the Mouse show. It was players, every single one of them having their moments. Sunny, complete turnaround from the previous map. It wasn't. It was night and day. Completely different player. Oscar was having his moments as well. Chris J at the beginning of the map was absolutely incredible in making sure that their economy stayed strong and winning them rounds that they had no right to win at all. And, well, other than that, there's not a whole lot else to say. They got slapped.
Yeah, we're going to go 1-1 in this series with LDLC winning out Nuke initially 16-5, and then the comeback coming in from Mouse going to go 16-4 now on Mirage. They go ahead and beat the PB of LDLC. And that now leaves it on to Cash, the great decider in which these two teams will decide who goes through to play in the final versus Envious. Of course, that's coming up next. Be sure to stick around and join us after the break.